Welcome back. We have seen and heard about this specific issue so many times, and it is this. When someone dies, families are often left trying to navigate grief, paperwork, missing documents, and countless unanswered questions all at once. What happens when your family isn't prepared for death? In this episode, Frank Flores joins us to talk about how to prepare your family for death, what to do when someone dies, and why organizing important information before a loss can make such a difference afterwards.
Yeah, we really emphasize this all the time. It's such a gift you can give to your family. So after Frank experienced the unexpected deaths of his younger brother and his father, he saw how firsthand how this works and how grief can be compounded by confusion and a frantic search for essential documents and information while you're grieving. It's the hardest time. That experience led him to create Familia Lista, a bilingual digital life manual designed to help families organize important information and create a roadmap for what happens when a loved one dies. This is a really beautiful bilingual tool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and we always talk about this, and it's just wonderful to hear about somebody so dedicated to taking care of something he found a need for, and it's a
That's right.
really good tool. So he helps us consider a question many families avoid, until it's too late. What would your family need to know if you died tomorrow? So if you're dealing with grief and loss or preparing for the death of a loved one, or simply just trying to have more honest conversations with your family about death and care, this conversation is a great one to listen to. So stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you back here again. I am the Reverend Wakil David Matthews. On today's episode, we get to meet and talk with Frank Flores.
Hi,
Frank
everybody.
Frank is a first-generation Mexican-American entrepreneur and writer from Eagle Pass, Texas, on the U.S.-Mexico border. He just told us he's on the other side of the Mexico border right now.
Mm-hmm.
He spent a decade building 10 different industries, from a feature film at 19 to businesses he started with almost nothing, until two losses stopped him cold: his younger brother and then his father.
Yes, and I am the Reverend Mother Ana Luisa Armendariz, and Frank, he continued to form businesses for years and years, trying to outrun the grief before he finally turned and faced it. Out of that came Familia Lista, a bilingual life manual, so no family is left in the dark when someone they love is gone. It's also a memoir it's a memoir. There's another memoir, right? The half of you have. He tells these stories out loud para los nuestros, so grief gets spoken instead of buried. Ay,
Beautiful.
un
Yeah, and I got
orgullo
you.
que tengo
That's
de
awesome.
conocerte.
Hey, thank you
And you
guys for
offered
the
us
space. Appreciate
an
it.
opportunity to get on, and I did jump on Familia Lista, and I love what you're doing. It's really important. So we've talked to people about gathering up all of your stuff, right? And we do classes on all the stuff, and but this is kind of a step beyond that, where you've got I always end with, you should have something online and you should have something in hard copy. And this just gives you like a step-by-step way to put it all online, and some other things that maybe you don't even think about, So I really appreciate what you're doing, Frank.
That's right.
I appreciate that.
So, Frank, there's a lot that probably brought you to this work, but in the best way that you can convey this, what inspired you to begin Familia Lista?
Out of loss, out of grief, and experiencing loss firsthand with my younger brother Marcelo, and then secondly with my father. My younger brother, it was unexpected. He was straight out of college, and we lost him. And so that was hard to deal with. And that's when I actually started building. That's when you guys were talking about, like, I built stuff. I was trying to outrun grief. And I just realized that 10 years later. And then with my father, he was an older man, you expected, but he was very healthy. He was strong. He was an athlete. And it was during like the COVID time, and it wasn't because of COVID, but he just got sick, and everything, the way, everything that was going on, we ended up it was an unexpected loss, so we weren't completely ready, and, my family, we ended up having to deal with a lot of grief, but there was a lot
Mhm.
of chaos as
Yeah.
well, and I hadn't experienced that with Marcelo because he was young, so it was not he didn't have a family, he was just starting his life, so that was one kind of grief. Then my father was like, we knew time was coming, in maybe 10 years down the road. No one knows, right? But we
Mhm.
still weren't ready and he wasn't ready. And in my I'm Hispanic, so I remember when I told my dad, I was like, "Dad, what not kind of like what are you going to leave us, but like where are the things like what are you trying to kill me? Why are we talking about this?" So it's
Mhm.
a very tough
Mhm.
conversation to have with elders
Mhm.
in my culture. They think it's disrespectful, and they
Mm.
think you're maybe bringing on death. It's very like it's a superstition kind of thing. So it's very hard to have like. And you had a guest on before, and she spoke very beautifully about this. I think it's like table talk conversations. Like, what do you do to prepare for this kind of stuff? And
Mhm.
we weren't prepared, so we were kind of blindsided by his death, and everything was up in the air. So we're trying to grieve him, and we're also trying to put everything together because we didn't. He lived by himself. We're all older. I have um, I'm the eldest of 4 now, 3, and we're all doing our thing, so now dad's gone, and how do we put his life together, And first
Mhm.
generation Hispanic in the United States, we don't know the ins and we don't know what to do, and that through that need and that grief, and to this I mean, it's been a couple of years already, to this day, I have brothers in Mexico, half brothers, that are asking me for documents. And I'm like, "Well, who did what? Who did" so now part of Familia Lista, I built it of because of that need, but then also after you're gone, there's this thing we built, it's called El Cuarto Familiar, so even after you're gone, you get 12 months on this digital platform to access things. Different people that you left or that you want to have access, they can have access for tax purposes,
Mhm.
insurance, whatever, the need may be. So,
Mm.
it came through
Mhm.
need,
Mhm.
firsthand experience, and I'm still building it. I mean, it's live now,
Mhm.
but that cuarto familiar, it was one of my brothers inspired it. He was getting after us on a group message. I'm like, I can't find the document. I'm like, if there was only like an area where just this subject, my dad's subject, all the paperwork was there, and that's what opens up after you're
Mhm.
gone. So that's
Yeah.
the family room or whatever. Um,
We
Mhm.
so it's out of need. It's out of need, and I saw that
Mhm.
my dad didn't leave a will. He didn't leave anything ready. If you wanna go talk to a lawyer, it's expensive, especially for
That's
Hispanic
right.
families. It's not something you have to do, and Familia Lisa does not replace a will, or a
Mm.
power of attorney. It's very important, but at least it gives you a roadmap on day 1 on
Mhm.
what has to happen because even if you had a will tells you who inherits what, and that'll
Mhm.
be anywhere 6 to 12 months, depending on your state, when you find out what's going on. Familia
Yeah.
Lista is there for you on day 1, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
basically a life manual. It's a digital map
Mhm.
that you leave for your family, so they're not
Mhm.
left in the dark. So this all comes from firsthand experience, and me building this,
Mhm.
um, has opened up the whole grief. You have to relive everything at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's been hard to build it, but it's built with a lot of love for a lot of families that
Mhm.
I don't want them to go through what my family went through. Our
Yeah.
situation. I know there's going to
Right.
be a lot of people that might be struggling financially, or they don't have information. This gives you information, and this makes
Mhm.
it very accessible for anybody to at least have a map there.
Mhm.
So you're not just
Mhm.
left in the dark. And it doesn't just go for
Yeah,
your family, it goes for your business. There's a lot of people that know everything, right? They're the ones who manage the accounts, the vendors.
that's
They
Yeah.
know
right.
what gets paid, and if that parent is gone, my
Right.
I'm married, and my wife, she takes care of her. She's a dentist, and I'm glad, so grateful that she left her dentist, her practice, her office, to take care of her kids. We believe
Mhm.
in raising our own family. So she put pause on her career. So now I'm building, the financial side, and she takes care of the family side. And if I'm gone, I was like, what happens? Does she know how to,
Mhm.
where anything's at? Like, I'm gonna leave them, there might be something built, but they don't know where anything's
I
at.
don't know where it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and the beauty of this is not just that it's easy for you. I think it's like 11 questions that I have set up now. So it kind of guides you on the most important things that you need to
mhm,
put down, but then it delivers everything digitally. So you can still
Mhm.
download it. And I encourage people to download their manual, store it somewhere
yeah,
safe. But also this lets you know exactly like, hey, this was meant for you. So it actually delivers it to the people you love or the people on the
yeah.
list that you
That
want that
was the
Mhm.
information.
really
Yeah,
interesting part of
Mhm.
it that I like. And we were just saying in the last interview that we've had so many wonderful experiences like this of people who
Mhm.
go through a loss and start looking for resources and don't find them, and so they make
Mhm.
them, you know. And so we really appreciate
yeah,
that you're doing that, and the way you're doing it, as you're saying, it's very unique in that it brings everybody in that needs to be a part of it and gives them all
Mhm.
access to what they need access to. You get to choose who's in that group,
Yeah.
and you can add people and take people away. I mean, it's just really well designed, and I love
Yeah.
that you're. I mean, it's always true that you continue to work on these things and continue to make them better. So if
exactly.
Mhm.
we're if
I
we're
do like it as well because I dislike and I like that it's online. I always distrust a lot of our important
Hmm.
paperwork online,
Exact.
so I'm
No,
like,
yeah,
"Ee,"
yeah,
but it does make it seem like it's like the family, filing cabinet because I have my filing cabinet upstairs in my office, and,
exactly.
like, I bought the Knox box for, going through it and getting all my my daughter, the moment I die, she can pull it up, like, "Here's the insurance policy, here's
There you go.
this, here's that," and everything's there in a piece of paper, and
Hmm.
I just recently got a fireproof safe, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna make copies and put it in there."
There, yeah,
But it is really nice to, like it's like the family filing cabinet. It's got stickers on it and everything, pictures,
hmm,
and you're like, "Okay, we need to, like, find this paper to do that." So, I
exactly.
think that's really cool.
I
yeah,
and
it's a
it
great idea.
this does not replace that either. That is the most
Mhm.
important thing. You should have everything printed out and filed away safely. But then again, you have to think of a fire uh, or an
Mhm.
update. You work on this manual, and then you'll leave it there. You'll forget about
Yeah,
it. The
yeah.
great thing
For
about
Mhm.
people who
this, which doesn't
aren't
replace that
close to,
either, this is digital, and you can do it
yeah,
on
Right.
your phone, on your computer.
Right.
You can make updates on the fly, and when I tell you that. The security thing. My sister, she's like, "I love it, bro, but I'm not using it because I don't trust anything online."
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the base of this is because of Robbie, my beautiful sister. She doesn't trust anybody. So, I made sure I passed the Robbie test, and,
Mhm.
everything is encrypted. We're using that, and it's not me encrypting this, I don't know how to do that, but we're
Yeah.
hiring companies that do
Yeah.
this for the top. I mean, for Stripe, the security provider, I mean,
Mhm.
the payment provider,
Mhm.
everybody, we're using their resources for our app, for our service.
Mhm.
So everything's
Hmm.
locked down to the key, and then also, don't store your passwords or your complete bank account number on this. It's just a map. So it just
Mhm.
tells you like these
Mhm.
last four digits of my account or this. This is where you can find my password, and you have something else printed out. And like I said, you can
Mhm.
print out your manual that's there, and then you store and you can put your actual password on the printed one and you store it in your safe. So it
Right.
just it goes along with all that as well.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It
there's a
also
security
addresses.
page. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I see. It also addresses the issue that people, that it's nice to have a filing cabinet, but sometimes people, like you said, it can just be, art on the shelf that never gets updated. But also that people don't necessarily live anywhere near you or know where things are. Um,
Right.
the house falls over in an
Yeah.
earthquake, um, it's just wonderful to have that resource that people know where to go and how to find what they need. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
Mhm.
And, I
Exactly.
used
Mhm.
to do computer security, so I appreciate encryption.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that was the first thing I was like, "If I'm doing this, how are we gonna tackle that?" Because and when I did, I went all in, and then if you go on the page, you'll see the first thing on the top, it says security. There's
Right,
a
I saw
page
that.
dedicated just to explaining how your
Mhm.
information gets handled, and then what we do with your information. Everything there's no small print. I mean, I'm not trying to I gotcha kind of this is to give,
Yeah.
you know, something positive to our community. This is something I
Yeah.
wish existed when I went through this.
Yeah.
So in no way, shape, or form are we trying to do anything funky with this. And like I said, that was
Mhm.
for Robbie. I'm like, Robbie, here it is, right in your face. This is what, and I repeated it throughout the whole, not just the app, but the website and several
Mhm.
places. So you're very secure with everything, even though it's encrypted. Uh, like I said, I even tell you, don't even store the actual password on here. You don't want to do that ever.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so, but yeah, it does, Rev, like you said, this will deliver it to the person that you want it delivered wherever they're at
Yeah.
whatever time. There's no, it's another
Yeah.
contingency plan for your safety box, right? And then
Yeah.
the other thing is we added a section for every person, so you can
Yeah.
deliver a personal message where no one else will read that message, just that one person reads it. So even though you have a
Mhm.
family group, every message is delivered. There's a different personal message for every person in your
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that.
yeah.
So, tell us about the most difficult challenges you've run into with this. You know, of course, developing a website and all that is a challenge all in itself. But has there been other challenges, like people who were, well, like your sister, who said that's not going to work for me, or other
Yeah.
challenges that have come up?
It's funny. I've when I started, I just let friends and family go touch this, right, and play with it and tell them I really wanted feedback. I'm like, go crazy with it. I don't care if you don't like it, tell me you don't like it, but tell me why you don't like it so I can
Yeah.
address your issues. And my sister's concerned that was the main one, security. So we addressed
Mhm.
that, and we actually run audits on a weekly basis on ourselves, just to
Mm.
make sure there's no bug or everything. So
Mhm.
security and safety is the utmost important. And then the other thing, I have one of my really good buddies, when I used to work in real estate, he has it, and he's like, so I have 2 kids. If I pass away, and he's always plays devil's advocate. Is that how you say it with me? So
Yeah.
it's great. He always has like these crazy scenarios. He's like, what if I let them know where everything's at? So my 2 kids. But what if my daughter, the younger one, goes in and hacks me? Because, she might have, like, my password and leaves my son out of everything,
Mm.
Uh-huh.
kinda like, what if she does it to him? I'm like, "Okay, um, that's a great thing. Let me figure it out." So then we went back and worked on that, so everything is timestamped. So every time you go in and do any change, you make an update or whatever, everything gets stored. There's a little digital foot it's like crypto, like when you go in and you move it's like a crypto blockchain. So everything gets, like, Paco or Frank came in here and he did some change. So it's timestamped. So I'm like,
Mhm.
after you pass away, your daughter's gonna go in there and try to move things around. Like, no, this I left this for you, not for him. Blah blah blah, whatever. Um, your son will know. It's like he couldn't. My dad couldn't have done this because this is the
Mhm.
last time he actually went in. This was after the fact. So no. So I mean, everything is like super. Like, if let's say you're going to use that to go to court, everything is timestamped. So there was a lot of good questions like that, and a lot of issues that came up, and we started addressing. So that
Mhm.
was another
Mhm.
challenge that we were. But
That's
Mhm.
fun.
those
That's
challenges end
interesting.
up being positives for the
Yeah.
Mhm.
service. So it's just another thing that covers you in case, just in case
Mhm.
this or that. So,
Yeah. It's
and
Mhm.
we're
good to
still,
have
like I
that.
said, we continue to build. So every time someone else says like, well, I don't want to use it because of this, we're like, perfect. Now we'll fix that part.
Now
So
figured
then you
out.
can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Those are the best
iterating.
friends. Best
Yes.
friends to have, the ones that go, "What about that?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yes.
great. Thank you. That's good.
So, what frightens you about the end of life?
Um, I saw this with my father. I don't think my father had, he was 50 when he had me, and then he had Robbie 3 years later, and then he had twins 8 years later. So out of his second marriage, so he was an older man. He had twins when he was 58. So he had his whole life, after we knew him. And you're growing up, and now I'm older, and I wish I had him with me right now, to ask
Mhm.
him about everything. I'm like, I miss him now more than ever.
Mhm.
Um, as the man, I wish I knew the man who he was when he was younger. I wish I had his um I wish I could just ask him questions and how to figure things out. Like,
Mhm.
he would have been an amazing mentor. I saw him be a mentor to a lot of people when I was a kid, but I didn't use him as one. I didn't need him, and now that I need one, he's not here.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the biggest thing that scares me is me not being there for my kids.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
So that's the whole point of Familia Lista again. It's like, but then that's just paperwork.
Mhm.
That's one thing. So I started this year writing a book. I've been trying to write a book for a long time. I didn't know of what. I'm like, I have nothing to write about. And now that I became a father, I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I'm writing a memoir about the person that's made me, about my father, about loss. It's about everything.
Mhm.
And I just
Mhm.
want to leave them something beautiful. So when I'm gone, they don't just have Familia Lisa to guide them
Mhm.
where everything's at, but it's like, oh, this is who he was. This is why he was the way he was. I just want him not to doubt or to have anybody
Mhm.
else tell them the story about me. I want to tell them the truth. And in this
Mhm.
memoir, I go deep dive on the truth. There's nothing holding back. And it's like things that
Mhm.
have, it's not just like, it's not victory. It's like, oh, I did this. It's really about like, this is where I messed up. And this is why,
Mhm.
if I would have done this, I would have had a better outcome. So it's really leaving them something so they're not lost in the world on a personal level.
Mhm.
And at the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
time, I'm trying to leave something good to the world, but it's very personal. It's for them first and then for everybody. So that scares me.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm
I
trying to
think I
finish this
saw
as soon as possible.
yeah, I think I saw on the Familia Lista that didn't you have a place there where you could just write like a little love letter to whoever you wanted to
Yes.
as part of it
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
That's something we also talk about when we're doing end of life planning. Is it's a really
Mhm.
wonderful thing to do. Is in fact there's a they call it the ethical will, I think, in the Jewish tradition,
Okay.
of just writing something that's not about the money and that but it's about who you were, what you wish somebody would have told you, how you feel about that person, or forgiveness for the people, or that kind of all these things that you wish you would have said, or you wish somebody would have said to you. So I love that that's a part of what you're doing, and I love the idea of writing a book. That's taking it a
Mhm.
whole other level. So you don't have enough work
Well,
and challenges in your life.
yeah, and, it just reminded me of and I was looking it up on our list, who was the legacy work that we, spent time with who actually kind of curate stories for people so that they can have it online and share it with other people.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
did it when his brother died, remember? And he was like, listened to all
yeah.
the albums that his brother left behind and wrote about that and such. So there is someone else out there who is doing legacy work and that with that in mind, like
It's a big
wanting to
part of
tell
it.
the story of who you are.
I love that.
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think about a couple of people like that. Yeah,
it was
that,
such a great interview.
yeah. We had a woman who
Kurt,
had.
it was Kurt, Lily List.
Oh, okay. Good mind. Wow. um, yeah, we had another woman, remember, who had, she called it two letters, um,
Yes, that was the
or
book
two
that she wrote
envelopes or
about.
something
Yep.
like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
she was doing sort of similar, write down, put stuff in an envelope for your people. But yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
This is so cool that you're putting this together and continuing to work on it and make it better and better. What a great legacy just by itself to
I
leave
appreciate
for
you.
the family and for all of us. Um,
I appreciate that.
yeah. So, how
Your
do
turn.
you? Yeah. Um, yeah, we always like to ask people when they're doing this work, any kind of work, end of life work, or having, challenge of life in general. How do you keep yourself resourced when it just is all too much? When, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning or whatever. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. But of course, dealing with loss is one of the toughest ones. So what are your tools that you use to keep yourself resourced?
I think it's just it's a everyday thing, and it's a mindset thing for me. I just I appreciate every day. There was an older guy when I was a kid in school. I would ask him every morning, like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "Every day above ground is a great day." I'm like, "What?" And it always stayed with me. I'm like, he was at a different point in his life where he was so grateful just to wake up another day.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that always stuck with me. And I was like, I wonder if I'll ever say that. And I do. That's what every
Mhm.
day I'm just thankful that I have another shot of being here. So whatever happens, whatever you're dealing with, and everyone goes through we all have different stories. We're going through a lot of things and things come and go, but I just try to be grateful for what I have now. And every morning the first thing I do is I just breathe, and then I listen to see if everyone else is breathing or screaming. The kids are usually awake before I am, and they're already crying or making a ruckus, and I just give thanks. I'm like, okay, they're healthy because they're screaming, and that just keeps me going. Before
Mhm.
I had kids, it was different. That I was seeing more with the loss, and without like the kids are my future now. So before the kids, like with Marcelo and with my younger brother, like that was just it. Just being thankful that I got to meet him. He was
Mm,
a great person, and he was one of those people, that he'll lose a flight because he stayed talking to someone in the lobby, and I'm like, "How did you lose your flight, bro? We don't have money to pay for the connect. Like, how are we gonna do that?" And he's like, he just needed someone to listen to him. That's the kind of
Aw.
person he was, and so
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was on another level. And I always say, like, I think the good people leave us first because he was so young. Like, he was just very advanced, and he
Mhm.
taught us a lot. So, I the main thing that carried me was my mindset, just like, "Thank you for giving me the time, whatever time I had, to share this life with him."
Mhm.
And I'm grateful,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
just trying to also decipher what the lessons were that he could have taught us or that he did teach us just in him being him, to
yeah.
pass on to other people, and try to apply
Mhm.
them to myself because we were very different.
Mhm.
We were very different personalities. So, just trying to be more like him. But that's it. Just a mindset. Just being
You're
thankful for what
grateful.
I have, and that kind of
And
keeps me
Mhm.
going.
yeah, that
Yeah.
gratitude is so important. And
Gratitude.
you
Yeah.
also mentioned having the kind of recognizing the losses when they come by. Like before we got recording, we were talking about grieving the loss of a bike, but every
Mhm.
time something, and we go through grief and loss every day, and there's so many different ways,
Mhm.
and to
Mhm.
just to breathe with those and recognize them and be thankful and give gratitude for the lessons and the teachings and the fact that you've got another day to try again, So
Mhm.
that's a very beautiful response.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
So, Frank, what is it that you wish we'd asked you?
Yeah, what's
Is there
left?
anything that anything that you're like, I want to talk about this?
I just want to let everybody know, kind of like the not really. It's just like the resources that. So Familia Lista, .com. It doesn't really. I don't. It does. I'm not here to. You don't have to get on it, but there's resources there. There's guides, and they're free.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you go to the page and on the bottom, every question I wish I would have known or I could have had like easy access to when I was going through grief. I'm it's like a blog and we're building it as we go. So there's a lot of free
Mhm.
resources there for everybody to find out.
That's great.
Um, and yeah, so just go to familialisa.com. You scroll down, there's a guides area, and there's just everything that you could think of. And if the community has anything that they want to know about, reach out and we'll figure out the answer and we'll put it there for someone else to read. Anybody who needs that resources, and it's
Mhm.
bilingual, so it's Spanish first. When you log in, it's Spanish, but there's a toggle on the top for English, and everything's in English as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just
Yeah,
want to give out free resources.
that's so great.
Is
Yeah.
it?
So
Yeah.
appreciated.
Mhm.
So needed. So wonderful. And you said you had a quote you wanted to share with us.
Yeah. Actually, I, I I wasn't ready, but when you guys wrote, I was like, okay, I'll do a quote. Actually,
Now you have to find one.
yeah, as I was scrambling to do one, so I was like, I'll just talk about this, and it has to more to do what we're talking about. And I heard a podcast, a great podcast. You were talking about I can't say it, masculinity. Uh,
Yeah,
uh, Earlier, I think it was like during Father's Day. It was a
yeah,
great episode, and I loved it. And so it kind of has to do with that. And this is something I wrote out of the book that's going to come out soon. It's just it was one of the hardest chapters I had to write, but it's kind of just like inward facing. So I'll read you that just verbatim. The book is called "The Half You Have," um, and here it goes. The story you've been told that a real man carries it alone, that needing help is weakness, that you stay strong and keep moving and never air your pain to anybody. That story is a lie, and it's quietly killing people. Strength is not carrying the weight alone until it crushes you. Strength is being brave enough to let yourself be seen all the way down, to sit across from another human being, a counselor, a friend, somebody, and finally set it on the floor If you're a man reading this with something heavy bolted to your chest, hear me clearly. You were never meant to carry it by yourself, and reaching for help is not the end of your strength. It's the beginning of the realest strength you have. So reach. I almost waited too long, and I'm not willing to lose you the way I've lost people I love. That's a quote.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Thank you for that. Reach. Yeah.
I hear
Yeah,
the
and
tenderness in your voice, so
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that
I'm,
vulnerability.
yeah. I'm choking up too.
thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
It's I'm like I said, I'm still working on it. And that's really what the whole book is about. You're giving more than you think, and you were never meant to carry it alone. So,
Yeah.
it's
So
basically
true.
that.
So important.
And dying, grief and loss, conversations about the end of life.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Charles Heaston, the composer of the original music you are listening to now.
And of course, thanks to you, our audience, and all of our amazing guests. Please come back next week for another great episode. Share this with your friends, family, and community. We hope you will subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. Each guest's additional information will be found in the podcast notes. And of course, if you have a good end-of-life story to share, please reach out. We are always eager to hear from you.